Sporty blonde jokes, blonde sports jokes. Q. How did the blonde die at the baseball game? A. She drowned during the wave. Q. What do you call a blonde at a golf course? A. The 19th hole. Q. How did the blonde hockey team drown? A. Spring training. Q. What do blonde swimmers and the Bermuda Triangle have in common? A. They both have swallowed a lot of semen. Q. Why did the blonde become a big hockey fan? A. Because every time they stopped the clock, she thought she stopped aging. Q. Did you hear about the blonde skydiver? A. She missed the earth. Q. Where do blondes go to meet their relatives? A. The vegetable garden. Q. What do you call a tall blonde rebounder? A. A golden retriever. Q. Why did the blonde take a piece of rope onto the baseball diamond? A. She was the skipper. Q. What do you call a blonde golfer with an IQ of 125? A. A foursome. Q. How do blonde basketball players stay cool during a game? A. They stand near the fans. Q. What do you call a dumb blonde behind a steering wheel? A. An airbag. Q. What do you call a blonde who can suck a golf ball through 50 feet of garden hose? A. Darling. Q. Why don't they let blondes swim in the ocean? A. Because they can't get the smell out of the tuna. Q. How do you get a blonde cheerleader to marry you? A. Tell her she's pregnant. Q. What's the difference between a blonde cheerleader and a guy? A. The blonde has the higher sperm count. Q. Why does a blonde race car driver wear green lipstick? A. Because red means stop. Q. How do you kill a blonde? A. Put a scratch and sniff on the bottom of the pool. Q. Why are blonde cheerleaders so easy to get into bed? A. Who cares? Q. Why did the blonde put ice in her pants? A. To keep her crabs fresh. Q. Did you hear about the blonde who couldn't wait to see 20,000 leagues under the sea? A. She said that she loved baseball, and was surprised that there were so many teams. Q. Did you hear about the blonde who tap danced? A. She fell in the sink. Q. What do you call a swimming pool full of blondes? A. Bobbing for bimbos. Q. What is the difference between a blonde and a shower? A. A shower has to be turned on to get wet. Q. What do you call four blondes laying on the beach? A. Public access. Q. What do you call two blondes in a canoe? A. Fur traders. Q. What did the blonde do when her boyfriend was having a seizure in the bathtub? A. She threw in a load of laundry. Q. Why did the blonde snowboard off the cliff? A. She thought her maxi pad had wings. Q. How does a blonde kill a fish? A. By drowning it. Q. Why can't blondes water ski? A. When they get their crotch wet they need to get on their knees. Q. Why can't blonde race car drivers go faster than 68 mph? A. At 69 they blow a rod. Q. Why is it good to have a blonde race car driver as a passenger? A. You can park in the handicap zone. Q. How did the blonde die ice fishing? A. She was run over by the Zamboni machine. Q. How does a blonde moonwalk? A. She pulls down her panties and slides her ass along the floor. Q. What do you get when you offer a blonde cheerleader a penny for her? Thoughts. A. Change. Q. How do you kill blonde cheerleaders? A. Put spikes in their shoulder pads. Q. How do blonde cheerleaders pierce their ears? A. They put tacks in their shoulder pads. Q. Why was the blonde upset when she got her driver's license? A. Because she got an F in sex. Q. Where do losing blonde coaches go when they are fed up? A. The boardroom. Q. Why are blondes like old bowling balls? A. they both end up in the gutter. Q. What can a blonde serve but never eat? A. A volleyball. Q. What tea do blonde hockey players drink? A. Penaltia. Two young blonde women were playing golf at a foggy par3, and could see the flag, but not the green. Feel bad for the hot blonde, Bar Raffaelli, that had to play tonsil hockey. For GoDaddy. Nothing sexier than a blonde in yoga or tight soccer pants. What's up with dark soccer players and blonde hair? Football game. A guy took his blonde girlfriend to her first football game. Afterward, he asked her how she liked the game. I liked it, but I couldn't understand why they were killing each other. For 25 cents, she said. What do you mean? He asked. Well, everyone kept yelling, get the quarterback. Tennis ball. One day while jogging, a middle-aged man noticed a tennis ball lying by the side of the walk. Being fairly new and in good condition, he picked the ball up, put it in his pocket and proceeded on his way. Waiting at the cross street for the light to change, he noticed a beautiful blonde standing next to him smiling. What do you have in your pocket? She asked. Tennis ball, the man said smiling back. Wow, said the blonde looking upset. That must hurt. I once had tennis elbow and the pain was unbearable. Walking in the woods. Two blondes were walking in the woods when they came upon some tracks in the dirt. The first blonde says, look at those bear tracks. The second blonde says, those aren't bear tracks, those are deer tracks. The first blonde says no they're not, they're bear tracks. The second blonde argues back. No they're not, they're deer tracks. Then, they both got hit by the train. Bowling tournament. Two bowling teams, one of all blondes and one of all brunettes, charter a double-decker bus for a weekend bowling tournament in London. The brunette team rides in the bottom of the bus. The blonde team rides on the top level. The brunette team down below is living it up having a great time, when one of them realizes she doesn't hear anything from the blondes upstairs. She decides to go up and investigate. When the brunette reaches the top, she finds all the blondes frozen in fear, staring straight ahead at the road, and clutching the seats in front of them with white knuckles. She says, what the heck's going on up here? We're having a grand time. Downstairs. One of the blondes looks up and says, yeah, but you've got a driver. Ice fishing. There was a competition between a team of blondes and a team of brunettes to see who could catch the most fish ice fishing. Once the contest started, it was clear that the brunettes were going to win. They kept pulling out fish after fish. Soon, the blondes got worried and sent over one of their team to see what the brunettes were doing differently. A few minutes later, the blonde comes running back. A hole. You need to put a hole in the ice. Pouring water. There was a blonde who was found pouring a cup of water into a lake. Someone came up behind her and asked her what she was doing. She replied, well, I was at my work today and got thirsty. So when I went to the water fountain, someone said, hey lady, save some for the fish.